Kyrie Irving. More like Kyrie Irving. Why? Well, for starters, Kyrie Irving has been playing horrible in the NBA Finals for the Mavericks so far. Talk about an embarrassing performance for Kyrie Irving. Anyways, though, this is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Kyrie Irving embarrassing himself and the Mavericks in the NBA Finals against the Celtics. The Mavericks are currently down 0-2 to the Celtics, and the struggles of Kyrie Irving, which is more like Kyrie Irving, has been a big reason for that. Even though Jason Tatum for the Celtics has had his own struggles, it has not mattered for the Celtics at all, as Kyrie Irving has been stinking up the joint for the Mavericks. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. How embarrassed should Kyrie Irving feel about his Game 2 performance for the Mavericks? On a scale of 1 to 10, the scale has got to break it. It's got to be at a 10. It's got to be at 100. It's got to be at 1,000. Either way, though, Kyrie Irving should feel extremely embarrassed to the point where his brain is popping out, because that was a horrific Game 2 performance they had out there on the basketball court. A lot of people hyped up Kyrie Irving as a guy that had the greatest handles ever in the history of the NBA. And although Kyrie Irving does have great handles, how are you going to have great handles and get locked down by Jaylen Brown on defense? Don't get me wrong, Jaylen Brown is a good player on defense, but my goodness, they turned Jaylen Brown into the second coming of Gary Payton on defense, because Kyrie Irving got locked up big time. You look at how Kyrie Irving, he shot 7 of 18 from the field. He didn't make a single three-pointer. He was limited to only 6 assists. He only scored 16 points, but he had to take 18 shots to get there. So was he really efficient? Not really. You look at how Kyrie Irving, he's trying his best to play defense, but he's not really playing good defense whatsoever. He is absolutely getting cooked by Jrue Holiday throughout this series. Speaking of Jrue Holiday, he has played so well for the Boston Celtics that it looks like he is going to win Finals MVP this year if the Boston Celtics are going to go on and win this series. As far as how Kyrie Irving should be feeling right now, I think he should be feeling extremely embarrassed. I think Kyrie Irving should feel humiliated, and I think that it's too little, too late for this series to even be competitive. The Mavericks' best chance to win a game in this series would have been Game 2, because we all know that the Boston Celtics struggle at home from time to time. There's a reason why the Boston Celtics have been prone to losing games at home when they shouldn't be losing games. That was the perfect opportunity for the Dallas Mavericks to beat the Boston Celtics, because the Boston Celtics didn't even play a good game yesterday by their standards. They shot 25.6% from the three-point line, and it's not exactly like they did a great job scoring the basketball with the ball in their hands. And you look at how the Boston Celtics, they really haven't been effective offensively throughout the series for their standards. They've been held to under 110 points. You think about how the Boston Celtics, they're supposed to be a high-power offense, but they've been slowed down in the NBA Finals so far because Jason Tatum has had an off game by his standards. You look at how he's been shooting the basketball pretty efficiently. He scored 18 points. Yes, he almost got a triple-double. Yes, but he also went 6 of 22 from the field. He only made 1 three-pointer out of 7 three-point attempts, which tells me Jason Tatum doesn't really have his shot falling in throughout his series. You also look at how he has been struggling in Game 1 as well. You look at how Jason Tatum has effectively been getting locked up by the Dallas Mavericks defense, which is pretty ironic considering the fact that Jason Kidd, the Mavericks head coach, was talking about how Jason Tatum was the best player for the Boston Celtics. He might want to reevaluate that stance, because you look at how the role players for the Boston Celtics have been going off, and the Boston Celtics might be able to sweep the Dallas Mavericks, while Jason Tatum may not even win Finals MVP. And that shouldn't come as a complete surprise, even though Jason Tatum was my pick to win Finals MVP this year. You guys also have to remember that Jason Tatum did not win Eastern Conference Finals MVP this past season as well. You look at how Jaylen Brown was the one that won that award. Who was the one that stepped up in clutch time? Jaylen Brown. You look at the role players for the Boston Celtics too. They've played really effectively. Obviously, Kristaps Porzingis, it seems like he re-injured his ankle or something like that. It's a lower leg injury. We'll see if he comes back in the series. He says he's going to be back for Game 3, but obviously what Kristaps Porzingis says versus what will actually happen are two different realities. My prediction is that Kristaps Porzingis is going to be back out there in the basketball court in Game 3, and he will do just fine. He has been the X factor for the Boston Celtics this year. I know that he's been hurt a lot in the playoffs, but when he has been playing basketball, he's been playing excellent for the Boston Celtics. He can space the floor really effectively. He can dominate in the paint. He can shot block on defense. He has effectively made Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively useless for the Dallas Mavericks, because Kristaps Kristaps Porzingis has absolutely owned those matchups. And you look at how he's been a Superman off the bench for the Boston Celtics. He has effectively proven to be the ultimate weapon for the Boston Celtics. And even though Kristaps Porzingis didn't put up great statistics in Game 2, if you actually watched the game, you could have seen how Kristaps Porzingis made so much impact for his teammates, for himself, for the players that were playing defense, and obviously he spaced the floor effectively on offense. There were the little things that Kristaps Porzingis did really well, and that's the thing with the Boston Celtics. You look at how the Boston Celtics are really good at doing the little things well, which is spacing the floor, making the right reads, making cuts to the paint, playing good defense, getting rebounds. They just play harder than the Dallas Mavericks, and obviously the Dallas Mavericks are a little undersized compared to the Boston Celtics, and when that happens, yeah, of course things are going to go the Celtics' way. Kyrie Irving, on the other hand, needs to be playing better than what he has been in the first 2 games, because Kyrie Irving is known to be a great point guard. Kyrie Irving is known to be a superstar, but he has played anything but like a superstar point guard. In fact, Kyrie Irving has not really even played at an acceptable level. He's been playing horrible the first 2 games. He hasn't really been a great facilitator with the basketball in his hands. And you also look at the fact how Kyrie Irving has been shooting the basketball pretty efficiently. You also look at how Luka Doncic, even though he got his triple-double yesterday, it's not exactly like Luka Doncic had a great game. I know it sounds like I've been overly critical of Luka Doncic in the finals, but when you play in the NBA finals, you have to step up your game at all times, and I'm judging Luka Doncic by Luka Doncic standards, because if we're judging Luka Doncic by regular standards, then of course we're always going to say Luka Doncic played a great game, but Luka Doncic, by Luka Doncic standards, was not a great player on the basketball court yesterday. The guy missed several free throws in a game where you lost by 7 points and your team misses 8 free throws. Yeah, that's going to be a problem in and of itself. And what do I always say? Role players follow who? They follow the superstar, and the superstar didn't show up at the free throw line. Luka Doncic shot 4 or 8 from the free throw line. Could you imagine if Luka Doncic had just made all his free throws? They would have only been down 3, and who knows? Maybe the Dallas Mavericks, they get a chance to tie the game late in the game with a 3-point shot. We know that Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are extremely clutch when the game is close, but obviously if you don't make your free throws, you're not going to win. And that's why the Boston Celtics, even though they shot horribly from the 3-point line, it effectively didn't matter, because if you're not making free throws, you can't win basketball games. No free throws, no wins. That's what the Dallas Mavericks have got to remember. They got to practice their free throws. If they don't make the free throws, they're not going to beat the Boston Celtics or really any team in the NBA playoffs. I don't care who you're playing. You got to knock down your free throws when you have a chance to make them on the floor. That's why guys like Daniel Gafford, they got to do better than 1 of 4 from the free throw line. If you can't make your free throws, you can't win. But how about PJ Washington being the second best player for the Dallas Mavericks? That is a huge problem in and of itself, because if PJ Washington is your second best player for the Dallas Mavericks, they're not going to win a lot of basketball games moving forward. They need Kyrie Irving to be playing at a star-like level, which is obviously not something he has done. PJ Washington, on the other hand, has actually been playing really good for the Dallas Mavericks, but PJ Washington is supposed to be more of a third wheel. He's not supposed to be a second wheel. He's not supposed to be your second best player on a championship contending team. PJ Washington is supposed to be a really good role player. Look, I like PJ Washington a lot. He used to play for my Hornets. He was a really good player when he played for the Hornets, but there's a reason why PJ Washington was never this elite basketball player that was taking teams to the playoffs all the time. PJ Washington is just a really good role player, and if you're expecting more from PJ Washington, I don't know what to tell you, because PJ Washington, he's chipping in 17 points. He's trying everything that he can on the basketball floor to win that game, but obviously it didn't work out that way. And you look at how Luka Doncic effectively has to do everything for his team to try to help him win. And you look at how Luka Doncic, he scored 32 points. Yes, he had 11 assists. He had 11 rebounds. He had a triple-double. He also shot the basketball pretty efficiently as well outside of the free throw line. And you look at how the Dallas Mavericks, they don't really stand a chance whenever Luka Doncic isn't on the floor. Whenever Luka Doncic isn't on the floor, even if it's just for a few minutes, that's going to be a problem in and of itself for the Dallas Mavericks, because the Dallas Mavericks don't know how to play without Luka Doncic on the basketball court whatsoever, especially when Kyrie Irving isn't playing good basketball whatsoever. They need Kyrie Irving to play better, because if he doesn't play better, then this series is going to be wrapped up very quickly. I believe Kyrie Irving should feel extremely embarrassed in and of itself. Obviously, Game 3 is going to be coming up on Wednesday. We'll see how it plays out. As of right now, I'm going to pick Boston to win this game, even though that opinion could change by Wednesday. I highly doubt it, but that could clearly be the case. We'll see what happens though. But Kyrie Irving, one thing is clear with the guy: he needs to massively improve his performance in Game 3, or else the Boston Celtics are going to easily win the championship. Right now, the only debate for the Boston Celtics right now is who should be the finals MVP, because everybody on the Celtics outside of Jason Tatum has been playing really well this year in the NBA Finals. And when you have that many players playing well as a cohesive team, that's going to be a problem in and of itself. Right now, it's the Celtics' title to lose, and I don't see how they're going to blow this series, but we'll see what happens, though. Kyrie Irving, he's got to play better than what he has been in the first 2 games, because how he has played in the first 2 games is nothing short of unacceptable. It's not good whatsoever. So that's why Kyrie Irving should feel absolutely embarrassed about his Game 2 performance for the Mavericks, as he is one of the main reasons why the Mavericks are down 0-2 in this series against the Celtics. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinStran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinStran and Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinStran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.